Am I the asshole for telling my mom she deserves to be homeless? This happened literally about an hour ago after I got home from work, so apologies if it is all over the place. I, 23 female, live with my mom, 53 female, and my brother, 26 male, in a subsidized housing townhome. For little context, my brother is unemployed and does not contribute, so rent, utilities, groceries are split between my mother and I. I get home this evening and there's a letter from our housing group in the mailbox at our door. It's basically a letter telling us that we're $3,200 behind on rent and could face eviction. I do send my mom $650 at the end of every month as our rent is just $1,185 and I cover the majority of the groceries, our internet and cable plus my gas for my car. I decided to bring it up to her when I get inside because in my head it makes zero sense that we're behind considering I was sending her money every month to pay my half along with hers and I believed she was paying it. After me continuously asking how this would be possible, she quietly admitted for the past 4 months she was not paying her portion and dipped into mine sometimes because there were other necessities like hydro, electricity, some groceries and transportation. Which yes is costly during winter months. But has been still buying cartons of cigarettes weekly, take out multiple times a week, and admitted she gambled quite a bit because she thought she could win extra money and cover the arrears so I would not have known, which clearly didn't work. In as few words as possible I told her she's a selfish mother, my respect for her is gone, and if worst comes to worst we do get evicted, she deserves to be homeless. Not only for lying and not telling me what was going on because I could have afforded to pay more of the rent and utilities on my own to lighten any burden if she had just said something earlier. But to spend yours and your kids' rent money on gambling and many of your own wants selfishly instead of keeping a roof over your own head or just asking for help is rock bottom, and you more so deserve whatever happens at this point because we now cannot afford to pay it back. I have my boyfriend I can stay with if anything happens, but her and my brother are on their own. The only reason I feel like I was a little bit of an asshole is because I truly know how expensive life is right now, and telling my own mother she deserves to be homeless might be inconsiderate in a time where she could really be struggling. But the anger I feel is overtaking any sympathy I have right now, and I just want to know if my reaction was just possibly overkill? Not the asshole. You are supporting 2 adults, one a gambler and one an unemployed leech. You are correct in your assessment of the situation. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. Move out to boyfriend and let them find their own way. They are 2 adults, they should be able to manage. Not the asshole. I'm sorry, but to compare the predicament she has put all of you in with her gambling and selfish spending to people who are legitimately struggling is ludicrous. I know she's your mom, but there's no excuse for what she's done. I'm not saying she deserves to be homeless because no one does, but maybe living somewhere else where she is solely responsible for the expenses and rent might be in order. Why doesn't your brother work and contribute to the expenses? Not the asshole. I'd have been harsher. She stole your money and spent it on addictions. Now you're about to be homeless. Get your own place or, even better, find a roommate who pays rent and will keep you accountable so you don't allow your mom to crash on your couch, because if you fix this, she'll never learn. At this point, tough love is appropriate. Also frustration. Not the asshole. She put y'all in this situation and she needs to deal with it. Also, why is your adult brother mooching off y'all? Not the asshole. Make arrangements to move in with your boyfriend now before you get locked out of your townhouse. Your mother and brother have made their beds, and now they must lie in them. It's time to look out for you. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker why customers might not like her? I work at a restaurant as a server. One of my coworkers moved up here from Georgia for college and started working here a few months ago. She constantly lays on the Southern charm thing thick. She calls everyone honey and sweetie and all of that. She also tends to chit-chat with people instead of just letting them eat after bringing them their food or drinks. It's also kind of obvious that a lot of them don't want to really talk to her. They give one-word answers and she just barrels forward and talks at them. Management has told her off more than once for this. About 2 weeks ago she was upset because a customer yelled at her and said, "Don't call me that," when she called her honey, and she complains that she's not getting as many tips as the other servers. She says it's because she has a Southern accent and customers think she's stupid, but I don't think that's the case. She asked me for advice, and I said it's because she takes so long to bring things out and wastes time trying to make small talk. I also said that the excessive pet names sound kind of condescending, and they aren't really something you would call a stranger here. She told me that she wasn't going to start being rude to customers because she would make even less money. I told her it's not being rude, it's just how things work here, and it's rude to other customers she's supposed to be serving when she spends all her time trying to make small talk instead of doing her job and calling them weird things. Now she's mad and has been avoiding me. Maybe I could have been gentler when trying to explain why people complain about her, but I was also really stressed because it's Christmas season and so much is going on. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Bit of a culture clash going on here. You've tried to help her fit in better with the locals and your boss has done the same. But she isn't listening to either of you. Not the asshole. If you are in the Northeast, especially NY or New England, she really needs to listen to you because yeah, we hate small talk. Her tips are only going to get worse. Not the asshole, she should listen to you, who actually knows how people are around wherever you are. You're just trying to help. I'm from the North and had to learn to be okay with the Southern hospitality, pet names when I moved south. Up there those can be fighting words. If she doesn't change she can expect complaints and possibly her job. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Maybe next time send her to your supervisor for advice. Though I grew up used to hearing waitresses say, honey, especially in a diner, so I don't find it that odd, West Coast. Not the asshole. This sounds like a realistic assessment. Making small talk is a bad idea. The person she's talking to feels obliged to answer, even though they might not be in the mood or simply lack the time. And everyone else gets upset over the delay. As for her pet names, that's just unprofessional. Not the asshole. She needs to read the room. Maybe her style works where she's from, but she's got to adapt to wherever she is. She also has to understand the difference between inserting herself into the guest experience by sticking around for chit-chat, and being rude. I used to wait tables, and while it's great to have regulars and develop a rapport with them, you can't do it at the expense of getting their food out quickly or inserting yourself into their conversations. I thought you were clear in explaining what you were seeing and the affect it was having on the guests. Am I the asshole for uninviting my parents to Christmas dinner? Am I the asshole for uninviting my elderly parents to Christmas dinner? So my husband is cooking a huge dinner for Christmas. He's a great cook and this was supposed to be a gift from him to them. He's worked on prep for a week and we've spent a lot of money on this. I've deep cleaned our home and decorated it. A lot of work went into our hosting them here tonight. I just uninvited them. I've mixed feelings about this. About a week ago my mom tried to rearrange the date, the dinner, the food, etc. Basically behaving like a person being forced to do something they don't want to do. The menu includes their favorites. We offered adaptations of foods, times, location, etc. We tried to make it something nice for them. My dad was looking forward to it. Mom wasn't, no matter how we offered to tweak it. Last night my mom asked if she could bring her dog and I said no. Her poodle is the love of her life, I get it. The last time it was here it peed everywhere. It even destroyed one of our dog beds. I don't want to deal with it in my home. I got a snide text last night from my mom. One line was that they would come even if their dog wasn't welcome. She doesn't want to be away from her dog on Christmas. I replied that I was looking forward to having them over. It was a reactionary response as I didn't really know how to reply. This morning I reread the text, how rude the tone was, and that from the wording how much my mom didn't want to come. I showed my husband the text. We decided to have a quiet dinner alone. We're going to make to-go plates for my parents and bring it to them. My dad will greatly appreciate it. My mom is complaining we canceled. I literally feel like my mom just chose a poodle over us. They would be here an hour here. 1 freaking hour. I guess I could have watched it that long but didn't want to. So am I the asshole for canceling day of and choosing a peaceful dinner? Edit for typos, can't change typo in header unfortunately. Not the asshole. There is nothing that would get me to allow a dog in my home who has already peed all over it. Your mom is unreasonable and would have been unhappy no matter what you did, so you are wise to preserve your own peace. Not the asshole, but you should have let your dad come. Sounds like he could do with a break. Not the asshole, your poor dad. Not the asshole, pick up your dad and leave your mom the to-go plate. It's your mom who can't be separated from her poodle. Why should dad suffer? Not the asshole. Taking them plates, particularly plates with enough for several meals, is a good idea because at least your father will get a few extra meals out of it. I'm used to sending guests home with care packages of leftovers if they want them. Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. As the host you have invited them at the predetermined time and attempted to welcome them with their preferences. They can either attend under those conditions or not attend. Am I the asshole for not expressing my discomfort when my partner's ex ended up being our server at dinner? Last night, after our Christmas gift exchange, my partner suggested we go to a popular restaurant near my house. They had previously mentioned that their ex worked there, but I trusted their judgment and didn't think much of it. Once we entered the restaurant, I noticed a shift in my partner's energy. Before arriving, we'd been affectionate and joking around, but as soon as we walked in, they became quieter and avoided making eye contact with me. They waved and said hi to their ex, who then ended up being our server. During the interactions with their ex, my partner didn't introduce me, and I felt boxed out as their ex stood close to me, facing only my partner and giving compliments and kindness. This made me feel invisible and uncomfortable. After we already ordered, my partner asked if I was okay and if there was anything they could do. I said I was uncomfortable but didn't push to leave because I thought it might make things more awkward. I waited for just a simple introduction, but it didn't happen. Later in the meal, their ex asked if we wanted separate checks, which reinforced my feeling that the situation didn't look like a date. After dinner, I explained how I felt, and my partner got upset. They said I should have been open earlier and not expected them to read my mind. I told them that their shift in energy and lack of an introduction made me feel sidelined. They explained they were caught off guard by seeing their ex and don't think about them ever, so they were not expecting this and didn't want to make the situation uncomfortable for their ex by introducing me because my partner broke up with them. However, this made me feel hidden and as though my feelings were less important than their ex's comfort. My partner felt I was ignoring their discomfort and did not offer them the benefit of the doubt. I felt like my hurt was being sidelined in the conversation and that it was unfair for me to be the one to express discomfort and I shouldn't have been brought into that situation. We ended the conversation with them saying they needed time to process. Am I the asshole for not expressing my needs earlier and letting the situation linger until after dinner? Not the asshole, because why did he even pick there knowing she works there and then get all awkward when, oh, she works there? I'd honestly be done after that because obviously that person still matters too much to him. Not the asshole, they deliberately took you to the place where their ex worked and then didn't treat you like a date. Don't let them push this on you. They wanted to show up where their ex worked with someone new, but then once they did, they thought twice about it. And yes, their ex's feelings were more important than yours. Not the asshole. This is a very typical power move. You might have been used to make the waiter jealous. As someone who's been in this situation, no, it's not your job to speak up and introduce yourself. If you had to go this far, that shows your partner essentially forgot about you or that you weren't their main focus. On your date night, if that doesn't fill you with rage, then your partner gaslighting you should. I would have a conversation and let them know how you feel and how your partner ignoring you on your date is never your fault. He doesn't think about this ex but wanted to go there knowing she works there. Make it make sense, sweetie. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You're not a mind reader, but your partner could have at least played host and said, "This is your name." You shouldn't need a neon sign to feel included on a date. It's not about their ex, it's about common courtesy. Not the asshole. How were they caught off guard when they said beforehand that the ex worked there?